Hello and welcome to Excel Essentials. In this session, we'll be covering absolute references and how you can use them. Now, absolute references are really useful if you're doing formulas and you either need to fix something to a specific column, a specific row, or to just one specific value in a cell. Or there is the other type, which is relative, and I'm going to go through all four of these. So we're going to start off with relative. Now what this means is I'm going to just do equals and I'm going to select our cell here, which is C3, and I'm just going to hit enter. And as you see, it's brought the number 45. Now I'm going to go to formulas, and then what I'm going to do is go to show formulas. And what we're going to see is we're going to see the formula that's being used that we're entering. And let's say I wanted to drag this down. You can see that this changes to C4, C5, C6, C7, C8, C9, all the way through to C17. Now, if I was to select these, you can see that the row number has changed as we dragged it down. Now, what would happen if I dragged it to the right? Oh, look, the letters have changed from C to D. So the column has changed, and this is relative cell references in Excel. Now, it does look a little bit scary, especially if you've never seen it before. But if I turn off the show formulas, you can see it basically just takes whatever's here and it basically has transposed it here. So relative is if you're doing equals and then a cell value, it's just going to bring that cell value or whatever's in that cell across to the one that you're using. Now, if we look at this one, we have left $sign, but this one is more commonly known as being mixed with a column being fixed. Now, if we go and turn back on show formulas, I'm going to do equals, and then I'm going to select our cell, which is C3. Now, on your keyboard, you can hit the F4 key to create absolute references. So if I bring my on-screen keyboard and hit function and then F4, we can see it goes to the absolute reference first. We're going to hit F4 again, and it does the right $sign, and we'll come back to that one as well. If we hit F4 one more time, we get the $sign on the left-hand side next to the column letter. Now I'm going to hit enter. I'm just going to hide that keyboard for now. And as you can see, we've got equals $C3. Now, whenever the dollar is left of a letter or a group of letters or a group of numbers, so if it's like in this scenario, let's say equals $AB, it would be looking at fixing column AB. So if we see here, we have C3, we're going to do the same thing and we're going to bring it down. And as you see, the numbers continue to go up all the way from 3 to 17. Now, let's see what happens if we end up dragging this to the right. Oh, look, we have our first difference in highlighting this. So even though we've pulled it into a second column, the column has been fixed, so it only looks at the C column. Now we're going to move on to doing the row fix, which is where the $sign is on the right hand side. So we're going to do equals C$3. And as you can see, our normal cell has been selected, and we're just going to hit enter. You can also cycle through to it using the F4 key as we did earlier. Now, let's have a look what happens when we drag this down. Oh look, something interesting has happened. The row, which is 3, has stayed the same, but so has the column because we're still in the same column. Let's drag this over one column to the right and see what happens there. Oh look, the column has changed to D because there is no $sign to the left of it, which means that column isn't fixed. But because there's a $sign in front of the row number, which is 3, that is fixed. So as you can see, selecting between the two columns of C3 and D3 with the $signs between the letter and number, we can see that Excel is jumping between the cell references up here in this show formulas view. And now finally we have the absolute view where you get both $signs. Now for this, both the column and the row is going to be fixed. So the reference we choose is going to stay exactly the same when copied. So if we do equals $C$3 and hit enter, and we end up dragging this down and dragging this to the right. I'm just going to do a few more columns than we did last time. We can see all the references are C3, which is that number 45. So if I turn off show formulas, we can just see the number 45. Now if I change this to 79, for example, and hit that, we can see all of these change to 79 because they are pulling on this cell only. Regardless where I copy and paste that cell reference remains intact. Stay tuned for more Excel Essentials.